What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to Devil's Customs and Creatures. Start off this video. This is an actual car that my boss had showed me that he wanted to purchase. Unfortunately, got sold out from under him. He is a huge Thunderbird fan, and even though this thing is an anomaly, I thought it'd be pretty fun to build it for him for Christmas this year in 1/64 scale. I tracked down the two castings that I would need to do this project. One is the Matchbox Premier Collection Thunderbird Turbo Coupe. It's supposedly a 1996 Thunderbird. And, of course, the Big Air Bel Air from Hot Wheels. I thought it'd make a cool base and not too over the top, but a beefy enough chassis to pull it off. This feels like the first of many thousands of mock-ups I did to see how I wanted to get this thing put together. I only had two pictures of the real car, one from the front and one from the rear. So I kind of had to use a little bit of imagination and figure out how high I wanted it. But it literally was a Thunderbird body bolted to a 1-ton chassis. So I know I didn't have to get too detailed. Here I am just trying all the different bases and seeing what works best. To get the Thunderbird chassis to fit better on the Bel Air base, I had to cut off these rails here because they were adding too much height and it really wouldn't sit flat on top of the chassis. So I just grabbed some snips here and went to town on the sides, just snipping off the excess. I had to flatten the bottom pan of the Thunderbird to get it to sit better on the chassis. I don't know why, but I had the hardest time cutting these off, so in the end I just went with a grinding wheel and ground them down flat. That way we can get a better fit. If you watched my CDI Creamsicle pickup truck build, you'll notice I did this for that build as well. I had to fill in these wheel wells here, and I just used some black styrene to go ahead and shore up those holes. That way there, you can't see anything through it. The only other slight problem I had was a little bit of a gap between the chassis and the bottom of the Thunderbird. So what I do here is just grab a couple of pieces of styrene. I cut them to size just to fill that gap, and I'll paint those later on. I finally got to a point where I was happy with the fit of everything. In this picture here, you'll see a bit of a gap between the body and the bottom of the Thunderbird, but that's only because I was painting the trim around it at the time and it was drying on the side. My boss is also a huge Alabama fan, so I figured I'd go ahead and put a decal on the back window just to give it a little bit more personalization. And if you remember, this is what we started with. An unholy matrimony of a Matchbox Premier Collection Thunderbird Turbo Coupe and a Hot Wheels Big Air Bel Air. And here's how it turned out. As you can see here with the paint, I went with more of a rough kind of junkyardy look, as the pictures I had were not, a pristine build. It was kind of just a backyard build. So I wanted to kind of keep that same feeling. All in all, I think they matched up well, and they pulled off what I was trying to accomplish. I also made some custom packaging, which sadly I did not have any pictures of, and I gave it to my boss at our Christmas party, and he absolutely loved it. Please stick around for some glamour shots, and until the next one, be well.